Hi YouTube, it's me, Barbarous King. I've been repeatedly asked to give my thoughts on Wo Long, the new Team Ninja release, so I put this video together with the help of my editor to sum up what I was thinking, so here it is. As you may know, I have a somewhat troubled history with Team Ninja's Nioh games. This fucking game is such ass! It is ass! This game is ass! Have you ever beaten this boss? I've never done the Nioh DLC. You're fucking kidding me! You're kidding me! You're kidding me! It's like the dumbest, worst, most pathetic AI coupled with the most outrageous fucking abilities and damage scaling, and that is Nioh. The more I played the series, the more I understood its core mechanics. Key pulsing, stances, Onmyo magic, ninjutsu. There's a lot to learn, and Nioh is about as clear as a brick wall when you're new. Maybe I just enjoyed the pain, maybe I was desperate for a new Dark Souls-esque experience, but for whatever reason I stuck with the series. I've beaten Nioh 1 and 2 probably at least a half dozen times each now. I find that there's always a new build, a new weapon or ability to try out in Nioh. I don't think the Nioh games are perfect, far from it, but they've kind of carved out their own little niche in my playlist when I'm tired of playing FromSoft's games. I really enjoy Nioh now. So as you can imagine, I was pretty excited when Wo Long Fallen Dynasty was announced. Couldn't wait for it. The most common repeated comment I'm seeing about Wo Long is that it's like Sekiro. If I were to assign a number to Wo Long, I'd say it feels like 90% Nioh and maybe 10% Sekiro, which is to say, not all that much like Sekiro. The engine, the story, the aesthetics, level design, the enemies, and bosses all deeply resemble Team Ninja's Nioh games. Wo Long, however, has done away with Nioh's integral stance and key pull system. Now, when you first play Nioh, you're probably going to find that these systems are very clunky and very difficult to get used to. As difficult as it is, these systems are, in my opinion, Nioh's strongest selling point and present a deep and rewarding alternative take on melee combat and stamina management. Team Ninja has essentially removed the stance system from Wo Long and radically changed the stamina management. I don't necessarily think a simplification of Nioh's combat system is inherently the worst idea, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss those in Wo Long. Not only has the combat been simplified, but also the magic and martial arts systems have also been radically changed. Your magic use is limited to your current spirit level, meaning that you cannot cast spells until progressing in the individual missions by killing enemies or finding banners and flags. Martial arts are limited as well, tied to your individual weapon rolls. After 20 hours of playing, I've yet to find if there's a way to alter the martial arts or even fill weapons' empty slots, and nobody I've spoken to seems to know how to do that. I'm beginning to think that you just can't. I really wish you could mix and match your martial arts in Wo Long, somewhat like changing your weapon arts in Elden Ring. Newer players may find Wo Long to be more approachable, yet I can't help but feel like some of the flavor has been bled out of Nioh, reducing one of the game's crucial strengths. Nioh veterans will certainly recognize the perpetual flood of weapons, armor, and consumables. I myself have never really cared for the constant influx of loot, and navigating it all remains an irritating experience of number crunching and comparisons. From a level design perspective, Wo Long features many of Nioh's familiar features. Burning villages, ruined castles, dank caves. Each is littered with the same generic enemies arrayed in standard spam formation or waiting to ambush you constantly. Look at this fucking, see, look, this is, okay, here is Nioh level design. Here it is. You want to know what Nioh level design is? Oh, an enemy. Let me go get this guy. And look who's waiting behind the corner. This is Nioh level design 101. Now I gotta like try to, you know what's funny? If I shoot this guy, it's probably gonna still aggro his friend here too. Wolong's enemies feel especially artificial in the way they stand around waiting for you to stealth attack them from above or behind. Overall, I'd say Wolong's levels generally feel longer and larger than Neo's, which kind of works against the game as you're spending longer between boss fights and more time with the basic enemies. Neo has never been known for its enemy diversity, but Wolong actually seems to have less variety than Neo too. Contrast that with Elden Ring, which features dozens of enemy types spanning its biomes. I found after 20 hours of play that Wolong's bosses are a very mixed bag. After this long, so far my favorite bosses are Lu Bu and Dong Zhuo. Most of the bosses can be described as generic and uninteresting. Bosses have never been particularly a strong suit of the Neo games, yet I can't help but wonder what a team like FromSoft could create for bosses with the Three Kingdoms setting. Graphically, I'd say Wolong is disappointing. Team Ninja's art direction pales in comparison to the stunning art and environment of Sekiro, and it lacks the style of something like Ghost of Tsushima. Combat is overloaded with excessive visual effects and unneeded flashing lights. Camera issues abound in tight corridors, and the gaudy critical strikes being launched in the air don't help as well. Thankfully, you can change some of those camera settings in the menu on your game settings, which makes the camera way more tolerable. What can I even say about the story of Wolong? The Neo games mostly teeter from cliches to incoherence, yet Wolong seems to double down on these. There's a total dissonance between the gameplay of killing a handful of zombies and monsters and then watching grandiose cutscenes of warlords in their past. It's a shame because this is a fascinating period of history and the game's premise could be interesting, but the story fails to function in pretty much any fashion. In summary, Wolong feels like a significant step backwards for Team Ninja after Neo 2. I feel as though Wolong may end up being better received than Neo simply because it is more approachable and far easier than its predecessors. Almost every mission gives you one or more companions to fight with you, further reducing the already low challenge. For me, I find myself more bored with Wolong than at any time during my multiple Neo playthroughs. The ocean of mechanics in Neo remains a daunting task to navigate, but comparatively, Wolong's puddle depth can't keep my interest for long. I'm assigning Wolong a 5.5 out of 10. For comparison, I would give Neo 2 an 8.5 out of 10. Well, I hope you enjoyed the review. Thank you for watching. If you could hit like, comment, and subscribe, it would really help out the channel. If you'd like to see more reviews of games, either old or new, let me know and I'll see what I can do. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.